Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to Doomlink's Live Hunts. I'm a bit afraid today, for a few reasons. First and foremost, I think my luck has been really bad this morning. I stubbed my toe, I cut a hole in my bloody neck while shaving, and second of all, well, I suppose this is linked to the luck issue, but YouTube is being really slow today. I was trying to load up my YouTube studio for live streaming. That's basically where my dashboard is located. By the way, I still don't know how to actually properly find my live dashboard on YouTube because it's so unintuitive. What I do is I type in, well, I just go to the YouTube URL, type /live, and then find the link that I usually get to. It's actually a redirect link from the old dashboard. But anyway, that was being super slow to load. It in fact failed twice, and then on the third attempt, third time lucky I suppose, it actually loaded. So here's hoping that that doesn't somehow affect the live stream, not only as you guys see it, but also as YouTube archives it. I really don't know. It seems as if YouTube's having some issues today, so I'm just hoping that that perhaps is only in regards to loading the YouTube studio, for example, and not... and it won't translate into whatever I'm recording here. Now, one question that you might have is why I'm not doing the, what's it called? Joke Weapon Roulette series here in this game. I did say that if I were to ever record this game, at least for a little while, I would only be doing it in that specific series. What the fuck? I was loading my... whatever video I had, oh, there we go, yeah, skip ad please, I didn't want to even open that. I had a tab open on YouTube on my laptop, and I'm just staring at this white screen that says, men's underwear. I'm like, okay, thanks. It was basically an ad for a video that hadn't fully loaded, it was just like, men's underwear. I'm thinking, I haven't made any recent searches of men's underwear, so... yeah, sounds a little bit strange to me. But anyway, I'm now getting my chat up, finally. And yeah, I will continue my previous explanation. Basically, the reason why I am recording in this game without doing the Joke Weapon Roulette series, just, you know, generally doing hunts, is because my... yeah, yes, I do shave. Yes, I do shave. You thought I'm one of those people who just don't have beards? Well, sadly not. If I really wanted to grow facial hair, I could, but I have no idea how it would look. Some people have nice-looking facial hair, other people don't have nice-looking facial hair. I think mine would look alright based on my genes, but I have no interest in that. I really find facial hair to be gross. It feels gross on my face, like it's really not a pleasant thing at all for me. But anyway... yeah, the reason why I just want to do general hunts here is because I actually have a few sets that I would like to demonstrate. Well, mostly one new set, which will be interesting. Let's see if I can find a room that I can use it in. We will have a look and see. It's basically a Pierce set designed for this here. Here we go, what the fuck is going on in here? Is this a joke? Guys... wake me up when it's over. They're not changing their equipment. I can't believe what I'm seeing. At least I'm assuming. Should I just join to see what's going on with these people? Because maybe the room hasn't updated on this side, and they've actually all changed into bowgun sets. We'll have a look and see, but this is kind of frightening. But, anyway... what have we got here? Wow. This is for real. This is actually for real. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Maybe we can check later. Actually, what I will do is disconnect, and I'll show you the set that I'm talking about, because that way you guys don't have to be sitting here wondering what the hell it is. I've recently, well, not just recently, but in the past, basically the whole time I've been playing this game, I have been using an Evade Extender Pierce Heavy Bowgun set for the Brachydios Lockdown quest. That is to say, the quest where we farm him for charms by locking him down with 3 Pierce Gunners and 1 Status Gunner. Now, the issue with having an Evade Extender set is that Evade Extender isn't very helpful in a lockdown scenario where you are trapping the monster, paralyzing the monster, KOing the monster in sequence so that they can't move anywhere. Obviously, under those circumstances, Evade Extender is not in any way helpful. So, I, of course, had an Evade Extender heavy Pierce set because that's all I had, and that's what I usually use for most hunts in which I'm using Pierce level 3 and level 2 and level 1 with a heavy bowgun. But I finally bit the bullet and decided to make a proper set for it, at least proper in my eyes. Now, it's not truly proper because I'm not using Valor, and I know some of you are probably weeping at this admission, but I will say that I still can't bring myself to use Valor, I'm sorry. I understand that it makes no sense to forego the additional damage just to use Guild Style, but I can't do it. I have no desire to do it. So here we are. This is my crouch Pierce level 2 heavy bowgun, actually, because one of the decisions I had to come to was, well, not just decisions, but one of the realizations I had to come to was that I wouldn't be able to crouch fire Pierce level 3 properly with a set, because my only bowgun options just weren't good enough. They needed recoil down +1, and that's one thing that I also came to realize. It was the fact that actually with average recoil on a heavy bowgun, you only need to have recoil down +1 to be able to quickly shoot Pierce level 3. I thought that you needed low recoil to shoot Pierce level 3 quickly. Actually, you only need some recoil. So that was an interesting thing for me to come to terms with, and I would like to see if it is the same in 4 Ultimate, because that means I also need to change my 4 Ultimate heavy bowgun set, which has pretty much existed for the last 5 years, unchanged. So that was a bit of a strange thing. So as you can see, and I don't know if you remember what the set was before, but it wasn't really ideal in my mind at that time. It had quick sheath and recoil down +2. So basically, swap shot booster for quick sheath and add another number on recoil down, and that's what my previous set was. Now that wasn't very good for damage. I always felt like I never really needed quick sheath. I only used quick sheath because I had, I believe it was an evade extender +6 and quick sheath +6 3-slot charm, or maybe it was a 2-slot, but either way, it was very good. And I thought, hey, let's use that. Get a nice extra skill with that, why not? But it's not damage based and it didn't feel necessary, so it was always something that was weighing on me, something that needed to be changed. And when I came to the realization that in fact I didn't need recoil down +2, that made it very clear that it was time to make a new set, and this is what it was. And I also was able to make a good set that didn't rely on recoil down +2 to shoot Pierce level 3 quickly. Now this gun technically shoots Pierce level 3, but it is not designed to actually capitalize on it for the reason that this is a crouch fire heavy bowgun, and or at the very least this is a crouch fire heavy bowgun set. And if you look at the crouching fire list, we can only crouch fire Pierce level 2. Now Pierce level 2 is alright. A lot of people do crouch fire Pierce level 2 in this game. In fact, I don't think anyone crouch fires Pierce 3 here. People were crouch firing Pierce 3 in 4 Ultimate with the Gravios Giga Cannon or whatever it was, Geiger Cannon, I don't know how you want to say it. But it was basically the way people Pierce gunned in that game. But here, everyone uses the Orcus Quarkus or the whatever it's called. Deoros Delphinidae, I think it is. The point being that it's not in any way using PS3, because PS3 unfortunately just doesn't really work with certain crouch firing setups in this game. So basically what we've got here is we've got some critical eye +2 on top of a gun that already has very high affinity, namely 40. So now we have a total of 60 affinity that's working off shot booster and critical boost, and we've also got some additional damage here with attack up small and pierce up. So this is a good set, and I suppose some people could say it's not amazing because it has mild right-leaning deviation, but for me, I'm alright with that. I generally prefer not to have deviation, but it's not so difficult to use that it makes the set bad in any way. It's fine. You just have to get used to it. And I used right deviation for my elemental light bow gun of 3 Ultimate, which was the laggy light bow gun, the abyssal laggy light bow gun, I should say. So I am kind of used to deviation, and I'm pretty sure I had a lot of deviation back in Try when I was doing, I think it might have been my Rapid Dragon light bow gun set. That had a lot of deviation, I remember. But anyway, yeah, I've got no idea when they reveal the next portable monster hunter. You know what I came to realize, and I probably should have mentioned this several weeks ago when it first came to mind, because it would have been a lot more profound for me to mention at that time, but my theory as to why... Oh. Are you going Greatsword? Let's just check. We will check to see what he's doing. I'm not hell-bent on doing this right now, but... Anyway, my theory was, when it became clear that the Switch would be getting another hardware upgrade, I don't know if you remember, actually I don't know if I ever said it because I think it wasn't supposed to be mentioned, but basically, there was an indication that there would be a significant graphical upgrade from this game to the next Monster Hunter on the Switch, and I'm not going to really go into details about that. Maybe it's common knowledge now, I don't know, so in case it's not, I'm not going to say anything. But the situation was that it was a question of how would they get that on the Switch, and I think the answer has become the Switch upgrade, like the upgraded, I don't even know what it's supposed to be referred to as. It's not, it might be a Switch V3, it might be called a Switch Pro, something like that, but either way, it's supposed to be slightly higher spec, not very high at all. It's not comparable to, for example, a PS4 versus a PS4 Pro, but it's supposed to have somewhat better hardware. So my theory was that the reason why the next Monster Hunter game was not announced as far as a release date was because they were waiting for a more concrete release for that Switch upgrade, with the intention of having that new Switch hardware being coupled alongside the release of that game, not just to sell units, but also to sort of validate, well, not even validate, more like make it a viable option for people to play this slightly better graphics Monster Hunter game. But yeah, that was my fault. So I don't think these guys are going bowgun. I don't know why they're not, it boggles my mind, but whatever. They seem to have absolutely no interest in actually doing a fast hunt, and you know, it's not like it's going to be a super slow hunt, but compared to 30 to 40 seconds, yeah, pretty slow. So fuck those people, let's move on to something else. I don't really mind at this point. I don't need to show off this set. I would have liked to, but I don't have to. Turns no deviants, smiley face. Yeah, we'll join you, why not? We actually had a few options there if you noticed. But I think it is definitely time for us to get into a hunt. But yeah, what I was thinking was that they want to, it's sort of similar to how Demon's Souls is very closely linked to the release of the PlayStation 5. I think the next Monster Hunter game will be very closely linked to the release of the new Switch hardware. So that's the reason why I think they've been delaying it. Kidding. Really? If you say so, Lagertha. I don't know if it's Lagertha or Lagertha, but I don't really care. I'm always wondering how the hell to pronounce some people's names. This person's name is M. That's a name that I can pronounce, I think. Greetings, Hunters, says Lagertha. Well, thank you very much. What will we use? Kidding. It's ironic because I actually had to replace my only pellet set in my equipment set list with this thing here. It was a bit of a meme set. It was called Berg Basher, and it used the weapon, the eponymous weapon, and it was just... it was not a set that I was actually going to use ever, really. It was normal and pellet up, and it just had recoil down +2, I think, and it was weird. I wasn't a huge fan, but it was funny because Berg Basher, you've got the name Berg Basher, and you've also got the fact that it looks crazy. So, what should I do? I guess normal heavy bowgun is my only option. Let's go. I'm not using rapid light normal heavy bowgun. I meant to say normal light bowgun. Rapid. Yeah, there we go. I was absolutely losing my mind with what I just said there, but anyway. But yeah, I'm quite interested in... It is interesting because I really am closing myself off to updates as far as what's happening with the next Demon's Souls game. Like, I just... Because I have sort of resolved to not buy a PS5, philosophically at this point. Like, I'm actually severely averse to the idea of it. But when it comes to the next Switch Monster Hunter, that's actually something that I'm going to play. And that is going to be such an incredibly important release for me. Because it's basically equivalent to the Dark Souls 3 of this series for me. In the sense that World has, for me, been the Dark Souls 2 of the series, and what that means is that it has drawn into question the legitimacy of the series in my eyes, which is to say, is this still a series that I'm going to enjoy as I play the new iterations? I'm not going to have an answer to that question until this Switch Monster Hunter game comes out. Is 5th generation, by definition, no matter whose interpretation of 5th gen it is, going to be something that I cannot enjoy? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. All I can say is that it cannot be something like forced styles. I don't know if styles will even be present, to be honest. I don't think they will be. If they are, they might be... Oh, not Pierce, Jesus. Maybe I should have brought normal combinations. This is not a good start to this hunt at all. I'm less than impressed. Anyway, I'm really concerned about not being able to continue playing like I would this game in guild style, or just in 4 Ultimate, for example. I want the weapons to still do what I know that they... Uh-oh, this is not fucking good. Okay, fortunately I didn't get killed there. But I still want the weapons to do what I intuitively know they can do with certain button combinations. I don't want that to completely change. I don't mind if weapons evolve. I think they will inevitably evolve, because they evolved a bit in World. I think a lot, if not all, of the weapon evolutions that existed in World, hopefully except for the fucking bowguns, will be present in the next Switch game. Which I'm fine with. I didn't mind the weapon evolutions in World except for, say, Greatsword, and then again, I really don't want that to remain for Greatsword, that fucking true charge bullshit. We'll see what happens to me. Just fucking move it up! I was trying to make a small adjustment to the aim of my gun, and my animations kept on locking it in place. I know it looked like I was just being an idiot and constantly shooting in the same spot, but I was trying to shift it. Anyway, yeah, there's so much to talk about as far as what I want, what I'm afraid of, whatever, but the ultimate point is that it is a very important game for me. Will it start off as a high-rank game? I don't know. I actually don't know. But it's incredible to me that... You know what? No. I was going to say it's incredible to me that it's going to have such an impact, but I don't think it will have such an impact on me. Because if I can peacefully say, that's it, this game that I'm playing right now is the last Monster Hunter that I'll enjoy, I'll be at peace with that. Because I've already said that I have essentially extricated myself from the Monster Hunter community, because I cannot trust any person who actually enjoys, well, here I am crouch carving because I'm used to 4 Ultimate. I've been playing some 4 Ultimate lately. But, yeah, I feel so at war, emotionally, philosophically, with the Monster Hunter community over Monster Hunter World, that I feel that the community is not my place to be anymore. So I have no interest in those people. I really don't. I feel so strongly about World that any person who doesn't at least feel half as strongly as I do about World in the negative regard, I just can't. I can't really be present for that. I can handle it. I can handle having super different opinion. Well, then again, I also extricated myself from the Souls community, but anyway. There's not a whole lot of people playing Generations Ultimate who speak English, which is to say, you might want to learn some Mandarin before coming on, because with the combined situation of Monster Hunter Online shutting down and World being banned in China, this game has been flooded with Chinese people, for better or for worse. And I would say for worse, because generally European players do have an understanding of English, whereas these fucking Chinese, nah, nothing at all. Which, and I know I sound bitter when I say that, but the reason why we have very different servers for different groups of people is so that there is some level of communication. Now, European servers, I've always been lumped in with the European servers. You US guys who play games probably don't know what it's like to be on European-specific servers. There's no real communication issue. A lot of people in Europe do speak enough English to communicate at a basic level. I'm not looking for super deep interaction, I just want something better than a whole bunch of Chinese on the screen that I can't read. And yeah, unfortunately, this game has just been flooded with so many Chinese people. It's a double-edged sword, because there are more people to play with, but there's a higher percentage of people you can't communicate with. So, you know, the Japanese have their own servers because they're not going to be talking in English, obviously. Player 3 turn. Yeah, my turn. What are we doing? But yeah. The Chinese are relatively harmless in this game. They're not like bad players or anything. I haven't seen them play bad. It's not like the French. Oh my god. Don't get me started on the French. I've got nothing against the French people, but fuck me. Until you've played with the French consistently, you have no idea. I don't know how a country can house so many terrible Monster Hunter players, but I will never understand it, actually. I will just never understand it. It's very strange to me. Let's do this, yeah. Let the games begin. But, especially playing in 3 Ultimate, just all the French players were just, it beggars belief, because why is World banned? I've got no idea. Ask China. But, or perhaps the government of China would be more accurate. They make interesting decisions. What do I want to use? Something raw based. How about we go Blunt Greatsword? Khan. Khan! That's not the correct spelling though, for that Khan. Alright. So, what am I doing? Did I find a thing to do? Let the games begin. This is what I wanted to do. This is a quest that I have yet to complete, so I may as well do it. I'm not saying it's going to be super fun, but hey. I would rather get something done than not get something done while I'm in a room such as this. But, yeah, it was very strange playing through 3 Ultimate. And I would just like to say that I have no real prejudice. I sort of sit back and let things happen as necessary, and then I'll make my judgments after that. I did that with 3 Ultimate, and, you know, by the time I had hit about Hunter Rank 100, I was just sitting there going, what's going on with the French people? What's going on? It was very confusing, and I to this day will never understand how they could consistently, we're not talking about 80% of them, we're talking about 95% of them or more, were particularly bad. And I'm not talking about low Hunter rank people, I'm talking, these people had put in excess of 500 hours, some as much as 1,000 most likely, and they were dying like nothing else, on easy quests. It's very odd. Yeah, this is a very cool greatsword. Unfortunately, it wasn't particularly great in the older game. Oh, this is going to be an interesting hunt. This is going to be very interesting. I should have brought smoke bombs. This is not going to be fun at all. Sorry, team. I did not mean to post a quest such as this. But, Yeah, I don't know how Hong Kong fits into the world ban. I don't know if it does at all, in fact. Oh, you mean as far as the government doing stupid things, right? Sometimes I have to catch up with things I've said in the past. Oh dear. Well, at least for now I'm not being bothered by Ketchawacho. He seems to be minding his own bloody business, but... The problem is, this is a hyper quest, so when you do get hit by a stray attack from a monster, it's gonna hurt. The French are annoying with the insect glaive, they just spam the vault over and over, yeah. All the 4 Ultimate players will remember the whole Je suis monté. I don't think that's the correct pronunciation, but it's something like that. People made a lot of jokes about that because of all the French insect glaive users, and this is going to sound really harsh. The reason why the French did that was because they couldn't play Monster Hunter properly, so they did that. And I know that sounds really aggressive and unfair, and perhaps in some people's eyes even racist, but it's unfortunately the truth. And I don't know why it's the truth. It makes no sense to me, because I'm thinking, how can people in one specific country just suck at the game? But they do, because I witnessed it. I saw there were too many comparisons to be made. I found that the Germans were generally pretty good. I found the Spanish were generally pretty good. I found pretty much everyone else in Europe to be, for the most part, fine, with the occasional shit player. But it was a case where I would... it wasn't so much in 4 Ultimate, it was definitely in 4 Ultimate as well, but it was especially in 3 Ultimate when I noticed this. I would see someone playing like complete shit, and I'd be thinking, what's going on with you? And then I would check, and they would have, you know, French shouts, and I'm thinking, oh, okay. And then you see that over and over and over again over a period of years, to the point where you really start looking for it, and then when you start looking for it, it's on another level, because you realize it's pretty much all of them. And I will never forget, I think I've talked about it before, but I'm not doing well at all. This was a bad decision this hunt. I should have brought smoke bombs. I had no idea what arena it was going to be in. But, yeah. There was a situation where we were doing a very normal hunt in G-Rank. It must have been a single monster. It could have been something like Brachydios in the Tundra, something like that. But we had a team of people. Everyone was over Hunter rank. I was the lowest Hunter rank. I was at about Hunter rank 250 or so. Everyone else was 300 and above. I think at least one of them was Hunter rank 600. Now, in that game, we're talking 1,000 hours. This is the amount of play that you need to have under your belt to get to such Hunter ranks, unless you're really specifically farming for HRP. And within 3 minutes, 3 dead. And I understand that not having the full context for that, like what kind of hunt it was, what was really going on, might not really make it clear how impactful that was on me, but just... And it was a full French team. And I'm just sitting there going, how? I was so confused, and I just left the room, just completely disillusioned. And yeah, that was the French experience that will always stick in my mind, because it was just this huge confirmation for me that they just for some reason can't play Monster Hunter. Maybe someone has a theory to put forth about it, but yeah, it might not just be limited to Monster Hunter. I suppose they're just not good at video games. Their minds don't work that way. I don't know why. Strange. Come on, Ketchawacho. I always feel like a dickhead standing by a trap that no one else wants to stand by. Feels like I should be just going in there and dealing damage as well. Now, for fuck's sake. Fucking hell is what I have to say about that. Just get in the trap, you morons. It's not hard. If you all just lined up with the trap, he'd be in the trap immediately, but if you want to be a little bastard about it, of course he's never going to get in the trap. Especially with 2 ranged people. Imagine 2 ranged people who couldn't even be bothered lining up with the trap. Can you imagine that degree of laziness? where you don't even have to be close to the monster to continue hitting him. And you're still not going to line up with a trap. It's just shocking to me. I don't know what it is, but maybe some people just don't have that common sense aspect that should be found in video games. Some things are monster under knowledge and then others are whatever. Some things are monster under knowledge and then other things are common sense. And sometimes people are a little lacking on the common sense side. I think a basis for any amount of skill in any game is common sense. But anyway. I can't remember what my overall point was. I was talking about, oh yeah, I was talking about how the Chinese players are fine. They're not particularly bad or anything. So as far as coming onto the game and playing with a bunch of Chinese people, the only way your experience is going to be affected negatively is as far as communication is concerned. The vast majority of them don't speak English. Some of them do. I'm not saying none of them do. But for the most part, no. And it can be a little grating at times, because I've never experienced it in Monster Hunter. I'm a person who's always played Monster Hunter with random people. So it's very strange to have people speaking in a language that I can't even translate. Like, I can't translate that shit. And at least if it's in Spanish or something, I can quickly type it into Google Translate, but if it's a bunch of Chinese symbols, I'd have to get some app on my phone or something and like take a picture of it and get it translated that way. I don't know. Maybe that's an easy thing to do, but it sounds very silly to me. Maybe if I were desperate enough I could do it, but for the most part, there's no real communication that would go on that would really need to be translated anyway, so. Oh my goodness. So I hope everything's looking alright with the stream. I think it is. Everything should be fine. Yeah. Everything's all good. I should probably have some whiskey as well. Why not? Let's do that. It'll help me have a longer stream. Because time flows differently when the whiskey flows. P4 turn, yeah, thanks. Actually, then again, Khan did just enter. It's probably just Can. Could be Can? Can? Not Khan. Just read something like K-A-N as Khan, I don't know. I've made a new decision as far as what whiskey I'll be maining these days. For good flavour versus price, it will be Bell's. And Bell's is something that I haven't had since I was last in the UK. And it's harder to find Bell's in this country. It's a lot easier to find grouse. At least, well, I shouldn't say in this country. I mean, in my local area, I should be fucking saying. But I did actually find a place that is selling litre bottles of Bell's, so that's pretty much my go-to now. Because it turns out that Bell's tastes a lot better than grouse, so. And I had forgotten that. Because it has been a very long time since I last had Bell's. That's not to say that Bell's is amazing, but again, I'm looking for value for money here. Fucking a Cantor. Never fought a Cantor on stream before. What a novelty. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. There's a black dot on my green screen. That is what I wanted to know. Thank you. Number 7 is the MVP today. Get a white screen just to make sure. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, it's good. It's good because seriously, you guys generally don't notice things like the black dots. They're there, and I have to fucking stare at them in the VOD, knowing that I can't fucking go and fix it. So, yeah, thank you for pointing that out. So it should be gone now, unless the green screen wants to move. But it's basically the edge of my green screen. My green screen has a black edge around it, so you were just seeing the black edge. So I was able to shift it. Love a Cantor, says Lagertha. Yeah, I loved a Cantor too until everyone in this fucking game wanted to fight it along with Atlkar. Let's use a switch axe, something a little different. Dragon Eater, here we go. I do not often use switch axe. I have to say, returning to 4 Ultimate and using weapons that I haven't used, 110 times, such as the fucking switch axe, it's painful in that game because switch axe is just wrong. Ooh, I have a bad connection to this room, as you can tell. But yeah, Switch Axe, they fucked up the sword mode combos so bad. They fixed it in this game, I was shocked. I pulled out the Switch Axe in this game expecting something even worse, but it was actually back to pretty much how it was in 3rd generation, which was actually pretty good. Well, basically, it wasn't the same as 3rd generation. It still had the double hit with the Switch Axe weapon, but to do my typical combo, I had to alternate between X and A in 4 Ultimate, and it was just ridiculous. It felt like shit, whereas here I could just spam the same button. Yeah. Just like the old days. So, and even when I was alternating between the buttons, it felt like sometimes that didn't work, and I say it as if it's past tense. Well, actually, I'm having to put up with it now. It's annoying. Nullberry and Adamant Seed. Yes, here we go, and we are getting some attack up from our dear gunner friend, who I believe is Calm. I don't think, do heavy bowguns, yeah, I think heavy bowguns do have demon and armor and things like that. I'm quite sure they do. I'm just used to seeing light bowguns with it, you know. Get that face at great risk to myself. Or perhaps not at great risk, as long as he moves like that. Yeah, keep moving like that. Imagine if a Cantor didn't run around and just did that. Easiest hunt in the world. Yeah, no more black dots, I'm happy. Thank you, number 7. I cannot be more grateful, because seriously, I would not notice it. It would be like that for the whole stream had you not pointed it out. And then that would have pissed me off for the whole VOD. Yeah, Switch Axe is not a nice weapon type. I understand that there are some people who, for some fucking reason, swear by the Switch Axe. I'll never understand that. Switch Axe has always, for me, been a very silly weapon type. I actually have more respect for the Charge Blade than the Switch Axe. Now, some people might be like, what's with the tone of voice, Doomlink? Why is it so unreasonable to have more respect for the Charge Blade than the Switch Axe? Or perhaps not unreasonable, but rather so bizarre to make that statement. Well, the reason why I say that is because when Charge Blade first came out, I was like, this weapon has no right to exist. That's actually how I felt about the weapon type. I feel a little better about it now. Potato, in a past 3 Ultimate stream when I iterated that, said, yeah, well, the Charge Blade still has no right to exist. I'm thinking, well, geez. But I've now come to terms with Charge Blade, and I don't mind it too much. I've come to realize that actually Charge Blade is what Switch Axe should have been, because Switch Axe just straight up sucks. To me, Switch Axe is the weapon type that shouldn't exist, and really, it was the greatest insult in Try, because it sucked in Try. It absolutely sucked balls. I think the motion value on the overhead chop was better, but overall it did fucking shit damage. And it wasn't a nice weapon type, but the biggest insult was the fact that, I'm kind of at risk of death here, but the biggest insult was the fact that they replaced so many weapon types so that they could just work on Switch Axe. I mean, I don't think it worked that way, but I always felt like, when I first played Try, I always felt that Switch Axe was in place of all those weapon types they didn't include, like dual blades, bow, hunting, horn. So, yeah, that was a bit of an insult, to say the least. You hate his theme? That's hilarious. My friend also hates his theme. That is to say, the guy who kicked Gaijin Hunter. I swear I have other friends. It seems that for some reason I'm always referring to him, but he was just telling me yesterday as we were playing 4 Ultimate, after my Majora's Mask recording, I finally got him to... It's not like I had to pull his chain or something to play with him. It's just he's very focused on other things, and I just let him contact me when he wanted, and he said, alright, let's play. And we were doing a Cantor in 4 Ultimate, and he said, I hate his theme. I think it's stupid. And I'm thinking, well, I don't mind it too much. I don't like it, but I certainly don't dislike it. It's fine for me. So we've broken Just the face and the back spikes, I think. Oh, M. Why did you name yourself M? Can someone explain that to me? Like, what are you getting out of a name like that? Just the letter M. Does it mean something? You hate his hitboxes? His hitboxes are ridiculous because he is such a... His arm span is just incredible. And yet he moves way too fast for his size. At least when he's pissed off like he is now. His hitboxes are a lot more acceptable in this game than they were in Freedom 2 and Freedom Unite, though. I will tell you that. Using Trance Slash. Trance Slash makes this weapon type a little more fun. Demon Riot, on the other hand, not really, but it's good damage at the very least. M, for fuck's sake! What's going on, M? You motherfucker. That's my attempt at being funny, I suppose. Also, welcome, B. Gesseger, sorry. I've seen you in the chat, in this live stream, before this point, but I'm saying hello because I haven't seen you in the stream before this stream. So, welcome. Oh yes, Demon Riot. Uh-oh. Stop. I couldn't do anything. I mean, I suppose what I could have done was chosen a better place to use my Demon Riot, but I wanted to use it immediately so I didn't forget it again. Okay. Stay away, Acantal. I'm watching for that defense down so I can use an Adamant Seed if necessary. Well, Lucanlos was fucking annoying also in Freedom Unite. Uh-oh. Okay, he's not digging here, fortunately. But yeah, Lucanlos was very annoying in Freedom Unite with his tail. His Ice Blight in general, I should say. Good Flash Bomb. That reminds me of 2nd gen. Flash bombing a Cantor was definitely a thing. I have to say I've wasted a lot of my Demon Riot because a Cantor has just been nowhere close to me. I'm going to play very aggressively here so I can do as much damage with Demon Riot as possible. For better or for worse. Probably for better, because that means we won't have to fight this guy for much longer. Ooh. Okay. Managed to avoid that hitbox. See, that's an example of his hitbox. Oh, there you go. That's an example of his hitbox being a whole lot more forgiving in this game as compared to Freedom 2 and Freedom Unite. His theme is better, yeah. I will agree with that. It's almost got this adventurous... It's like the ice adventure. Adventure in the snowy mountains sort of sound to it. Didn't cut the tail, but I don't really need anything from this guy. Did we break the back spikes? If we didn't, that's going to really be embarrassing for the gunners. No, we did. You can see the broken back spikes there. I just saw those ones standing up there and I was thinking, awkward, but no, they did. The reason why it would be awkward is because the back spikes, for some reason, actually I know why. The back spikes are actually very low HP as breakable parts. And I think the reason why is because if you're going Blade Master, it gives you a chance that, or it gives you a chance to break the spikes from mounting. So, well, Monster Hunter Freedom is a different case. Freedom Unite and Freedom 2 are a bit better, but Freedom was another game entirely. That was 1st generation. The oh my god, what am I doing playing this game generation? And I will say, always, that 1st generation is a generation that I wish I could play. I wish I had started in 1st generation. Because then I would have been able to just get used to it and not have an issue with it. But unfortunately, that's not really how it is for me. I go back to 1st generation and I have a miserable time. For those who are not aware, I started in Freedom Unite. That was my first Monster Hunter game. And while that was rough, I cannot even imagine what it would have been like to start in Monster Hunter 1 on the PS2. I don't know what those people experienced. Like, I've got no idea what what it did to them. But as far as I'm aware, it changed them. Like, no person who picked up that game in 2004, 2005 would ever be the same again. Because if you actually resolve to learn how to play that shit on the PS2, it hardens you. It's... ugh. It is the worst generation. It's terrible. It's just really bad. There's nothing good about it. The only good aspect is the lore. That doesn't really help when the gameplay is miserable. I mean, it's bad. First generation, and I've said this before, but I actually met a person, and I recounted this in my Hunting with Friends recording, where I was playing the demo of this game before it released with my friends Sam and Ethan, and I recounted the fact that I had met a guy on Hunsterverse who said the following to me. First generation is better than second generation because second generation made the game too easy. Now, most people would go and play second generation and think it were the jankiest, most rough around the edges game they'd ever played. This guy had the gall to say to me that because second generation fixed everything that was wrong with first generation, it was a worse game because it was easier. Now, the reason why second generation felt easier for you was because it was no longer broken, so you were no longer fighting against everything that was wrong with the game to try and succeed. Once they fixed a few things, by the way, there were still issues, they just fixed a few things, yeah, once they fixed things, there was less of the game to fight against. It was more like you were fighting the monsters rather than the fucking awful controls, the fucking awful hit detection. Well, more like button input detection and things like that. What are we hunting again? I'm ranting. Come on, brain. Mind's eye, what did you see on that quest board? I'm drawing blanks. Let's go raw. Toyohisa sword, why not? Actually, no. I'm always using the Toyohisa sword. Let's use the my other greatsword set, Martyr. How are we going for lighting? Seems alright for now. The guy who says first is better is a masochist. He is. But extremely misguided. Oh. Do I really want to do this? I don't think I do. Silver Rathalos. Maybe I couldn't remember what it was because I was blocking it out. It was a repressed memory because I was traumatized by the sight of a G-rank Silver Rathalos on the board. No, but really, this is going to suck. But I've resolved to do it. Seeing as though I've equipped the weapon, I may as well do it. I don't want to have these guys waiting on me. By the way, this was one of the last sets that I made. A Nesset set. It was the only way that I could get higher grade earplugs, critical draw, critical boost, and focus all in the same set. I'm very sorry. I'm apologizing because you guys know that I hate Nesset, but... I had populated every single one of my equipment slots with a G-rank armor set by the time I made this Nesset armor set, so... That's the way it goes. Transmogged, of course, with a mix of high rank and G rank Nakakos. You can see the pieces as they flash on the screen now. For about 1 full second. I'm not going the right way. I'm supposed to be very familiar with this area, and yet I'm going in the completely wrong direction. But yeah, first generation was a serious problem because everything was broken. You do not realize what first generation is until you play it. Okay, imagine if your only experience was second generation. And maybe, well, what I should say is, sorry, your only experience of pre-third generation Monster Hunter is second generation. I can imagine, because I was in this position for a period of time as well, I could not imagine a Monster Hunter that was more rough around the edges. I couldn't really imagine it. I was like, well, what could be worse, really? The answer is everything. Everything was worse. and it was frightening. When I played first generation, it was almost traumatizing to experience such a terrible Monster Hunter game. I have played more Freedom than I have played Monster Hunter 1. But Freedom was basically unchanged. It was Monster Hunter G ported to PSP and given an English translation, and fuck me, it was bad. Like, Freedom had its own issues. Forget fixing issues, it had its own. And that game came out in like 2006, 2 years after the first one. It was just, it was absolutely beyond belief. And, oh my god. Just everything. Now, it would take a long time for me to go through everything that was wrong with it, but let me give you a little taste tester. You cannot, at the end of a quest, send items directly to your box. You can't do it. You have to send them to your item pouch, and if you have no more space in your item pouch, hey, tough shit. You'll be swapping items. You'll be swapping items from your item pouch into your rewards box, and you'll have to leave them behind. Tough shit. If you want your items, you'll just have to swap some things. Too bad. You cannot send items to an item box. Now, these are things we take for granted, really. But in first generation Monster Hunter, not there. Can't do it. Hello, Hunter Nick Sombra. Yes, and Bullfangos were not harder by design in first generation. They were harder in the sense that there were more of them, and this is another way in which first generation differs from second generation. In first generation, I fucking pray for you if you use a bow gun, because, and keep in mind bows didn't exist until 2DOS. I pray for your mental health if you use a fucking bow gun in first generation, because the number of small monsters that exist in that game is beyond belief. My meaning being that you could enter an area and there could be as many as like 8 small monsters assaulting you while you're trying to fight a large monster, and it's unbelievable. You cannot get over it. And if you've got like 8 Bullfango coming after you, yeah, let me know how that feels, especially when you're trying to hunt a large monster. It's incredible. You just don't know. You've got no idea what it's like until you've experienced it. You can watch people experience it, you can hear people talk about it, but until you've actually sat down and experienced the controls in conjunction with everything else that's wrong with the game, you don't know what it's like. It's miserable. And some people will play it and not have a problem with it. I don't know why. Maybe they're masochistic, maybe they're extremely desensitized to what makes a good Monster Hunter game. I don't know what the fuck it is. Some people, of course, just get used to it because that was the first thing that they played, but fuck me dead, it is an absolutely terrible experience, and anyone who says that it's actually a good experience is deluding themselves. If they can sit there and say, hey, I can play it, it's alright, that's one thing, but if they actually sit there and say, yeah, it's good, then they are deluded, because it is not good Monster Hunter. It is Monster Hunter in a form that should never have reached the public. It's like a beta, it's like an alpha of second generation. It's awful. It's the sort of thing that you wouldn't put out. But they put it out. They put out 3 fucking games in that generation. Unbelievable. Hold on, guys, let me communicate. Excuse me, I'm communicating with the Brazilian guys. Okay, so yeah, first generation, not recommended. If you would like to experience pure pain and misery, yeah, go for it. But I challenge any person to get to endgame Monster Hunter Freedom. I challenge them. When I say endgame, I mean like fighting Fatalis at G rank level. Like, you want to fight Fatalis in Monster Hunter Freedom? Do it. I fucking dare you. I dare you to fight Fatalis. I hope my facial expression is, you know, making it clear. Like, it's not funny. Well, it's funny It's so bad that it's funny, but it's not funny when you're experiencing it. It's funny when you think about it, but if you're in the moment and you're fighting that fucking monster in first generation, wow. It's just, I don't know what they were thinking, Capcom. I will never know. That will be one of the greatest questions I could ever ask. And I remember someone was talking about the guy who invented Rathalos. Ooh, the guy who invented Rathalos. Well, let me tell you, if you've if you've played first generation Monster Hunter and have fought Rathalos, you tell me if that's something that's worth tooting your horn about. I would say fuck no, because Rathalos in first generation is utterly awful. Utterly fucking awful. King of the skies indeed. Ugh. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. It's funny when you think about it, but it's not funny when you're fucking playing the game. I can sort of live with things like greatswords not being able to charge. I think that's kind of fun. It's different, but you don't realize how much you rely on the charge of a greatsword to, especially at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, in a Monster Hunter game, that is to say, if you're using greatsword, it's very useful to have that weapon type at low sharpness levels, because when you do level 3 charges, it gives you better cutting ability. It cuts through things that would otherwise cause you to bounce. Now, if you can't charge your greatsword, hey, you've got a problem. So. Oh, Around the World was a fucking joke. Imagine Around the World, but that's just how he flies. That's just how he fights. And sometimes he flies. Sometimes he glitches out and flies at an angle, and it's actually a mess. Actually a mess. Good hunt, says Lagertha. Yeah, indeed. Good fucking hunt. So it seems that, see, I like this Brazilian guy. I like this guy. He's actually trying to fucking communicate with me. Unlike certain people in the past. He's actually, so, based on what he said to me, I know that he's playing the older Monster Hunter games on PPSSPP emulator. Awesome. There's some communication going on. Thank you, Brazilian guy. Unfortunately, I can't really communicate with you in Brazilian back, because I can't really get out Google Translator to do so, but yeah. It's good to hear. A lot of people are playing the older Monster Hunter games on PPSSPP, and quite frankly, that's the best way to experience them. That is to say, the ones that are actually on PSP, because they look so much better, and you don't have to use the claw to move the camera. Now, the claw is pretty comfortable for me at this point, because that's how I started playing Monster Hunter, but I'm not going to be so foolish as to say that it's better to use the claw than have a second analog stick on a controller. Obviously, having a second analog stick is superior, so naturally I also opt to use a proper controller when playing games in PPSSPP. I'm having to scratch my arm by moving. You can see what I'm doing. Just casually scratching my arm, don't mind me. Anyway. But yeah. The older Monster Hunter games being Freedom Unite and Portable Third. We're not talking about Freedom. Freedom is doesn't matter what you do, it's going to be painful in Freedom, so don't do it. I would say, yeah, it is a little terrible, yeah, in Gesoka, but I'm very used to it. You know, when I first played Tri, I had the classic controller. Imagine this is the classic controller. I was playing like this. I was doing this with the D-pad. Well, let me demonstrate that. Like, you had to actually have your finger, your index finger, moving it like that. I had a second analog stick, and I was still doing that. I would say for the first 20 hours of playing Try, that's how I moved my camera. Not because I didn't know that I could use my right analog stick, but because I had started in Freedom Unite, and that's just what was comfortable for me. It was really funny. And then I eventually forced myself to actually use the right analog stick, and after a few hours of that, I started to get used to it, and before long I was used to both, so I'm quite comfortable with the claw. In fact, I use the claw to this day in Souls games. I use a double claw in the Souls games. I do this. Now, I do this to select my items. No, I use this to select weapons. I'll cycle through magic with up. I'll cycle through items with down, and then I'll... How does it even work in Souls? Can't even remember how Souls works, but basically... because I'm playing Monster Hunter now and I can't get my brain in gear, but basically I do a double claw. I do this. This is how I hold my controller. It's crazy. But, yeah, I double claw in Soul. So many finger cramps. I actually didn't get any. You know what gave me fucking finger cramps? The 3DS. Holding the fucking 3DS, because what I do is I use my pinky finger. So I will hold the 3DS with these fingers and rest the pinky finger underneath the 3DS. That hand positioning actually gives you fucking cramps. And that's the most comfortable way to use the not the PSP, the 3DS. And the 3DS is, oh, player, sorry, yeah, shit, it's my fucking turn, here we go. Player 3, it's your turn, yeah. Let's do, yeah, we'll do one of these quests. But I will change weapons just because these guys won't need to change weaponry because they're using raw. But I will change to something like blunt dual blades. Here we go. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Summer. Alright, so... It's so nice to be able to communicate with a Brazilian person for once. Okay, where was that quest? It was over here, I think. Here we go, we'll do the Searing Sands quest. Yeah, I became quite used to using the claw, but I will always agree that it's not good. It's not an ideal way to play Monster Hunter. But... and this might sound rough, but I would rather play Monster Hunter on a PSP than on a 3DS. I hate the 3DS as a Monster Hunter system. It's so bad. And I've said this before as well. When there were first whisperings in 2011 of a Monster Hunter on the 3DS, I laughed. I actually laughed. I thought it was hilarious to even suggest that there would ever be a Monster Hunter game on the 3DS, because my understanding was, okay, how the fuck am I going to play Monster Hunter? Am I going to do a reverse claw? Am I going to use my index finger to move the character and my thumb to move the camera? Like, what the fuck am I going to do there? Well, actually the solution was to get a stupid thing to slide onto the fucking 3DS, and then after that you'd get the new 3DS, which is what I got. I got the new 3DS XL, which had the little directional nub. That was miserable. That fucking directional nub almost single-handedly ruined For Ultimate for me. I still enjoyed the game, fortunately. It didn't ruin everything, but holy god. That directional nub, to actually move it in any fucking direction, I had to dig my thumbnail into it to actually get it to fucking respond properly. Because, you know, you're casually just putting your thumb on it, hoping that it will move as you want it to, but in an intense hunt situation, it was not fucking responsive enough, so I was actually digging my thumbnail into it to get it to move responsibly enough for me to actually be able to see what the fuck was going on. And by the end of it, it was fucking ripped to hell. So, yeah, it wasn't great. I actually had to replace it, if you can believe it. I had to replace the fucking thing. Because what I did was, like, I had my 3DS touchscreen for some reason went blank on one side. It was such that there was certain, I think it was on the left side, I couldn't input number 1. I couldn't input any of the keyboard stuff that was on the edge, because that side of the touchscreen was fucked. So I actually took my 3DS in to have the touchscreen replaced, or something like that. whatever ended up happening, it was fixed. And along with that, I got the nub replaced. So that was certainly necessary at that point. But that was an interesting day out. I fucking took a train out somewhere in Sydney, and I don't even know if I was still in Sydney by the time I got off the train, but I basically found some people who were able to do large repairs on 3DS systems, and I remember they gave me, oh, I will never forget it. I had spent, you know, let's say an hour and a half getting there, and I'd waited about an hour for them to fix the thing, which is fine, I don't mind waiting. And then I was making my way back. I had to catch it, no, it would have been more than an hour and a half to get there because I took a train there and then I had to take a bus to get there after having taken the train. It was fucking crazy. And I was about to take my bus to the train. And well, I wasn't about to, I was sitting on the bus. And I opened my 3DS and I thought, something's not right. These fucking idiots had installed a new touchscreen on it without removing the protective film. And it's positioned underneath, like the actual, I don't know how you refer to it, the chassis of the 3DS is such that it's on top of the screen, like the screen goes underneath it part of a way, so you can never peel it off, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I was like, oh fuck, so I had to get off the bus, I had to get off the fucking first stop I could, and then walk all the way back, which was further than it had been from the stop that I got on at, obviously, and then I was like to these guys, what's going on with this? Like, I didn't know what was wrong, I just knew that something was wrong with my touchscreen. And I said to them, what's happening? And they're like, oh, we didn't take off the protective film or whatever. And I was like, thanks. So I had to wait for that, I had to fucking disassemble it again. Oh, that was a long day. Long day. The things I did for my 3DS, just to play fucking For Ultimate. Terrible stuff, terrible stuff. And that would have been 3.5, 4 years ago. 4 years ago now, I suppose. I've had bad luck with DS systems. I had my 3DS have an issue. Only an hour, yeah. It was more like, I mean one way, so like, it adds up, man. But I think it was an hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes. Actually, no, it would have been longer than that, sorry. It was an hour, yeah, it must have been 2, because I had to get to the city first, and then I had to take a train out. Yeah, it was like 3 hours one way, I would say. No, maybe 2. Was it 3 or 2? No. About 2 hours one way. It's hard to remember because there were 2 bus journeys in a train. A bus to the city, a train further out, and then a bus after that, and that was just to get there, and then I had to do the same thing back, so I can't quite remember how long it would have been, but it was a long fucking journey, and it was, yeah, it was rough. But yeah, what I was going to say is that I've had bad luck with DS systems. My first issue was when I was intending to replace my DS Lite with a DSi, back in whenever the DSi came out. I got the DSi fairly, like, new when it came out. Also got the DS Lite fairly early on too, but I felt like replacing my DS Lite with the DSi for some reason. I don't know why. And it just it looked really polished and modern and pretty, so I thought, yeah, let's get the DSi. I'm telling you, in maybe 3 months, the touchscreen just stopped working. Stopped working. Unbelievable. And then, of course, I had that issue with, oh, you're fishing. You left it too late, Khan. Well, I say an hour, which is technically the best way to say it. Because a hour is, no. Because the H is not pronounced. That's the reason why you... Did I bounce before? I don't think I did. Surely I didn't. I've got fucking mind's eye. Yeah, of course. Because the H... I mean, yes, it's A before a consonant and AN before a vowel. But if you don't actually say the consonant, then it's AN. English lessons with Doomlink. Wolf's Maw. But one thing that always bothered me was an historical, because I always say historical. I actually say a historical, which is, you know, incorrect. But I don't care. That's my protest. All right, let's fight this guy then. That's fine. This guy, Baroth. Yes, an hour. A hour? Like, just try saying that. A hour. It's not right. So that's your clue that it's not the right way to say it. If it sounds awkward, probably wrong. Or perhaps because it's a clashing of enunciation. It's just a hour. It's very awkward. So an hour is the way you say it. Oh shit. Now one issue here is that with the dual blades, if you have less than, well, if you have orange to red sharpness, you cannot demon dance. Which is a little bit of a problem, but... Okay, we are now in red sharpness, and I believe we are now doing shit for damage, so... Time to sharpen her up. We are using bludgeoner, by the way. For those who are not aware. That is what we're doing right now. Ouch. Oh dear. I didn't well, maybe I did originally have raw resistance on this, what is the... Yeah, high grade earplugs, so... Oh, that's what it was. My original Oh. I thought it was dead. Don't do that. Oh, he actually I think he managed to do a proper detonation there because he missed the head. I thought the fucking Baroth was dead just as well. That was fun. So when I saw the sleep, I was like, no one put a trap down, and then I realized, oh, it was a fucking sleep. So first I thought it was dead, second I thought it was captured, then I realized it was asleep. It's kind of rough, wasn't it? Oh shit. But yes, I absolutely hate the 3DS for Monster Hunter play, and people who enjoy it, in my opinion, are masochistic. Also. Because it's not comfortable, it's unpleasant. It's much better to sit on a fucking chair or a couch or whatever the fuck you sit on. Have a television in front of you, and play on a controller. Sorry. It's just better. And if you don't agree with that, then sorry. Yes, it's nice to be able to take your game into your bed, for example. Great. We have a Switch for that now, fortunately. And yet you've got some people who haven't played Generations Ultimate because they can't get a Switch. The reason why they didn't... maybe that's a bad theory. I was going to say, maybe the reason why they didn't bring the game to 3DS in the West is because they're trying to sell more units of the Switch in the West. Well, I don't think Generations Ultimate was expected to move Switch sales. Maybe it was, but anyway. Nice. So what were the monsters there? We had Nibble Snuff, Baroth, Gendrome, and Daimyo Hermitov. Very good. I hope that was entertaining for these guys, who are probably just going to go back to their regular old hunts now. If they post something that I've done before in this room, I'll just go somewhere else. So yeah, Doomlink's Life Hunts is usually something that takes place in turns rooms for the reason that I don't have to take the time to leave the room to do different hunts each time. What I'm trying to avoid is farming. Farming's pretty boring, so... Lighting seems alright. That's what I like to see. Khan is fishing. Wow. Now, unfortunately, I can't see his fishing. I can only see the fish in my instance. I can't see his fish. You mean like an actual physical Switch console that was Monster Hunter themed? That would be pretty cool. I think there was one. I don't know. I think there was one. Oh yeah, the Switch in portable mode is fucking awful, but at least you've got the option. At least you've got the option. I've probably played Generations Ultimate in my bed once or twice, maybe twice. But I think once in the 2 years that I've owned it, so I don't know. Obviously not great for me. Thanks for hunting, says Khan. Yeah, bye. Farewell and happy hunting, says Lagertha. I don't know if that also means Lagertha's leaving, or if he/she was just farewelling the other person. But it seems that Khan does not want his turn. Well, that works perfectly for Lagertha now, doesn't it? Maybe it's Lagertha. Lager. Fucking lager drinkers. A Switch Lite is better for portable, not only because it's lighter, but it's probably more ergonomic also. Although I've never held one in my hands, but yes, it is better for portable play. This Hunter Rank 999 came in the room and said, "He has killed me, mother," which is likely a reference, and likely an unfunny one. But in this day and age of the internet, references are just, it's the funniest thing in the world apparently, so I should be laughing. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, sorry. Nintendo are best defined by the word lazy, Pablo, in this day and age. They're the kings of laziness, feeding off the IP that they have milked to death over 30 years, well, more than 30 years at this point. But shit, what were we hunting? That's right, Hyper Devil Dread. I know I'm always doing this. I'm like, what was it again? It's because I get distracted by all my armor sets. I'm like, shit. Let's go Thunder Light Bowgun. That's what I usually do with this hunt. I don't know if you guys have recently seen me hunt this monster with the Thunder Light Bowgun. If you haven't, then hope you enjoy. If you have, then I apologize. But yeah, I like to use this particular set in hot places because this has resentment. Now, I hate resentment in the sense that you're sometimes required to have toadstools and stuff. Like, toadstools are awful in this game. I hate them. Sometimes they reduce your maximum health, sometimes they increase it. It's ridiculous. It's not like the good old days, you know. Let's take some Thunder S. We've got a lot of internal ammo here. Ooh. Getting a lot of natural light outside. Hopefully that's not too bright. That's... whoa. Okay, now it's subsiding a bit, but that was like full-on peak summer brightness. In the middle of summer, I actually have to get a fucking sheet to regulate the natural lighting that hits my face, because otherwise it's too fucking bright. Like, that's with the light off in my room. It's crazy. Really crazy. I have never broken a bone, number 7. And I consider myself like, oh, I do not have 60 Thunder S, okay. That's fine. I'm starting off with this stuff anyway. Yes, I do resent resentment. That's correct. Alright. Get our Pierce through here. Now, of course, this particular set is better versus Savage Devil Joe because he's even more weak to Thunder than regular Devil Joe. Magaline is saying, "He has killed me, mother, again." He/she must be very impressed with their reference, or joke. Perhaps it's not even a reference, maybe Magaline finds that to be funny on its own. Why, I could never know, but... I don't wish they brought Frontier to the West. I would have absolutely loved to have played Frontier as it was between 2007 and 2010. Would have absolutely loved that, but unfortunately they changed it drastically into something that's even worse than this game, in the sense that Styles turned the game pretty crazy. Well, Styles had their basis in Frontier, and in Frontier you were running around with your weapon out, and oh, it was a fucking mess. Absolutely ridiculous. I was so disappointed when I realised that Frontier had changed in that way. Use Bullet Geyser here, why not? That was a very nice Bullet Geyser. I'm pretty sure I made contact with all of those explosions in the best way possible. It looked that way anyway. Stay away. Bloody Devil Joe. I don't know what it is about Hyper Devil Joe, but he's very good at team wiping. I think this team is fine. This team seems pretty switched on, but I have definitely done a few runs of Hyper Devil Joe that have ended quite poorly. He hits very hard, I do realise that, but come on. Oh, shit. I'm just like falling off. Ugh. Don't climb now, Doomlink. Okay, he's not going for me again. It's so strange, usually he's always going for me with this attack, and I think I have video evidence to prove that, but yeah, he's decided to not go for me today. Like a line, for Christ's sake, we're about to fucking... Remember when I was talking about team wiping? Let's not have that happen, please. Fucking Jesus, man. Now, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but I think that, what was I going to say? I got distracted because Lagertha fucking shot me, but, yeah, I think that Thunder level 2 has longer range than Thunder level 1. I don't know if this is correct, but this is what I have gathered from my experience. Hello. I haven't been hit yet, by the way, so resentment is really not working in my favour today. Uh-oh. Don't know if that back step helped me any. Oh, that's overcompensating for the possible movements of the monster. One benefit to Hyper is that that particular breath attack is very slow. Very slow. Oh shit. Yeah, it was basically DOS with more monsters, that's right. That was the Frontier that I wanted to play back then. But unfortunately, their idea of evolution was to just turn it into a joke. And I also didn't like the incredible grinding aspect that existed in Frontier as well. It was not, let me put it this way, it's not designed for Western audiences at all. Now, Monster Hunter's never really been designed for Western audiences until the game took a turn for the worse in World, which was literally designed for Western players. So in other words, you know, have you ever seen that Pepe the Frog where his eyes are going in opposite directions and he's drooling? Yeah, that's the kind of demographic that we're talking about here. Yeah, so aside from that game, Monster Hunter has never been designed for Western audiences, but Frontier is not an easy game. Yeah, Frontier is rough. You are going to be grinding for simple things for a long fucking time. Well, you would have been had you played before it was shut down. But it did feel like an end of an era. Frontier has been with me for the entire time that I've been playing Monster Hunter. Or at the very least it's been in the background. But now it's over. And I don't feel so bad because I did want to play it for a time, but once I saw how it had become, I had no interest in playing it. No interest at all. I'm such a bastard to set up in the early days. I think it became easier towards the end, but fucking hell. Yeah, there are lots of videos online from that era of Frontier. It's good. I like to watch them. I mean, sometimes I don't like to watch them because when I watch them, I wish I could be there. I wish I could have a character in that game and fight those monsters. Ideally wish that, but I couldn't really do it at the time, and I certainly can't do it now, so it's hard to know whether I should watch those videos because I feel like I would feel sad watching them. I'd feel a lot of regret that I could never experience it. Bring the creature here, says Lagertha. Okay. Bring the creature here. I don't know why, but that shout is funny to me. Okay. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get his breath out before he got in the trap, so I was being careful. Oh, fucking capture, really? Whatever. Yeah, in 2009, Frontier was pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. Oh shit. Take it easy. I was gonna say, I'm not gonna hurt you, and then someone else started shooting it. I'm sorry. What is an Aptonoth doing here anyway? Feels like Aptonoth shouldn't be in this area. I don't know. Yeah, Frontier, I think in 2009, that's when Rabiente was dropping for the first time, and for anyone who doesn't know Rabiente, he was basically the precursor to Dara Amadura. Dara Amadura. There we go. Dara Amadura. But he was an actual dragon rather than a snake. Had that sort of Chinese dragon look about him. Had a very, very long, twisting body. Got a Mog. Farewell and happy hunting. I'm sorry, what? Got a Mog? Sometimes I turn around and realize, wow, I do not speak the same language that some of these people speak. It's getting a bit bright, isn't it? Maybe I should turn down the brightness of my room. Let's do that. Ooh, sorry. Shit. I don't know, number 7. I thought it was a shortening of transmog, but actually no. It must mean... Oh no, maybe that is what... Yeah, that must be what he meant. Got a Mog. I thought that was a way of him saying, you know, got a split, or something like that. Got a bounce. I thought Mog was another word for that, and I'm thinking, fuck, I've never heard that one. But no. Mog is indeed for transmog. You don't feel like an idiot, number 7. I didn't know what it fucking was either, and then because I thought it was transmog initially when I saw it, but I was like, no, that must be like a farewell term. I'm leaving this room. But, yeah, it turns out, yes, that person was transmogging and was leaving for that reason. Okay, let's search for some rooms. What have we got today? We've got a person with a funny face. Castle on the run. Oh, well, of course, it is an Atalkar room. I was so busy looking at the face that I didn't see what they were hunting. Silverwind EX. Ha 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 ha. Eokum Bokum. Okay. There's a bit of Chinese going on in there. EX need help. Most people need help. For EX, yes. Got a Mog. Yes. That's the way. This is a cool way to say it. Got a transmog. Got a Mog. Yeah. Got a Mog. Gold Crown LG. I guess that means small. I don't know. Yeah, let's do some Kazoo. No, I've never played Monster Hunter while high. I've never been high, fortunately. I can't imagine it being bizarre, though. I can imagine it being confusing. Like, Phoenix, what are you using? Avidya Eye? I don't know why you would actually transmog the fucking Bloodbath set on that, because Bloodbath is not an attractive set at all. Not even remotely is it attractive. So I've got no idea why you would opt to do that, Phoenix HQ, but I suppose everyone has their own tastes. Not everyone would think that me transmogging the Nakako set looks good. But there you go. What do I want to use? Lance. Something a little different. Why not? My fire lance is Glavenus. Off we go. Will we two-man? I'd rather not. Slay 8 Antica. I'd rather wait for one more, honestly. Even for a regular G-rank hunt, I don't like two-manning. I'm not a fan of it. Ooh, game changer. That might not have been a good idea. Oh, we didn't get it. Beautiful. Yeah, Spaceman knows about it. Ha! Isn't weed illegal or something? Well, it's becoming less illegal as time passes. Because it's losing its stigma. Still not something I would consume, for the reason that I'm already unproductive enough as it is. Oh. Okay, well, two-man. I don't mind. I'm sure some people say, you can be productive on weed, and it's like, well, I'm sure some people can, I can't. I've never touched weed, and I know I can't be productive while smoking weed. Maybe creatively productive, but outside of that, not really. Creatively productive, yeah. Yeah, everyone's got their own reasons for using it. One of the issues with it, however, is that it does affect memory, which is a concern for me. So. That is a big concern for me. Alrighty, so looks like we are starting in Area 8. Don't know why, but I have it in my head that he starts in 6. Sorry, Jevil, or Yevil, or Hevil. That's going to be a recurring thing to talk about in my videos. The many pronunciations of J. Alright, this shouldn't take too long, even though we're only two-manning, I do feel. Oh, the reason why I don't have my cat here is because I was hunting Nahabra with one of my friends in this game, and my cats kept on fucking killing them when we were trying to poison them to carve, so I had to take off my cat. Oh shit. Unfortunately, I cannot in this game double counter, or at least counter frequently enough to be able to deal with that double attack that he does. Frustratingly. Oh no. Can you believe it? This guy's like Hunter rank 800 and something, and he has shouts like, Hunter Art 1 activated. As if I give a fuck. Why do I care that you've activated Hunter Art 1? Why do I need to see that? Do you think it somehow adds some dimension to the hunt? It really fucking doesn't. If anything, it's bloody annoying, so turn it off. I would love it if the chat could actually have something there that was worth looking at. Anyway. That's how I feel anyway. Thought there were 2 players named Phoenix here. Well, apparently the cat is less high quality. Man, I haven't seen Phoenix HQ in a... Well, not the name, but I mean HQ. You know, HQ, HD. People used to put things like HQ and HD in their names. It was a bit of a trend for a while, some years back. Like, Doomlink HD, high definition, high quality. And there was a time when HQ was used to refer to video quality as well. I don't know if there was a strict meaning behind it, like HQ was like 480 or something. Maybe it was. Maybe HQ was 480. I don't remember now. But HQ was definitely used. I mean, HD has always been used. HD has been used to refer to audio fidelity as well, going back as far as maybe the 50s and 60s, but you know, high definition has always been used and has always been a shortening, well, has always been shortened to HD, but HQ, I do wonder. I do wonder if there was ever a defined standard of what HQ was, resolution-wise. It all began at 240p, and then it went to 360, and then 480. It was 360, wasn't it? Was it 320? No, 360, I think, yeah. I think it was 360. I hope it was 360, otherwise I'll be... It's been a while. But yeah. Now, the reason why HQ was used was... It was just a way of saying that it looks good, whereas HD, I think, was an official term to refer to 720. I think it went... HD, True HD, then like what, Ultra HD? I don't know. I think Ultra HD was 1440, True HD being 1080 or something like that. But yeah, for a long time, everyone just knew HD as being 720. On YouTube at the very least. I speak in terms of YouTube. In terms of actual videographers and filmmakers and all of that, obviously they had a completely different understanding of resolutions for video, because they dealt with resolutions that were not present on the internet, really. But, well, HQ can also refer to headquarters, yeah. But, I view his name as being a throwback, rather than, which is to say it was like, high quality, but... Well, oh, looks like... Well, is he going to 3? I thought he was going to 7. I didn't think he was limping yet. Oh, he is going to 3. Fucking bastard. Ultra HD is 4K. Oh. Well, what the hell's 1440? Because I know 2... What's 2... Oh, fuck. 4K is Ultra HD, then. What's 2K and 1440? Wait, no. 2K is 1440. Shit. So what was 1440 referred to as? Very HD? I mean, True HD, Very HD. Particularly HD. More HD than before. Anyway. You'd think you'd find another word. There is no True HD? Oh, no, I think that... I'm quite sure that... QHD? Oh. Well, I'm quite sure that HD was 720 and Ultra HD was 1080. No, sorry, True HD was 1080. That's my memory of it. Could always be wrong. Oh. Looking for my whiskey over here, it's over here. Oh well. You know, one thing that's very strange, and I suppose it's an indication of how little I paid attention to video. Sometimes you just... Before you really learn to look at things, you just don't notice them, but... I never really noticed the shift from 4:3 to 16:9. I must have been aware of it to an extent, but... When the standard began to shift, we're talking in like 2007, I didn't really notice it. 4:3 was just natural to me. But yet 16:9 was also natural. And when 4.3 started to disappear, I don't know, I just didn't really notice that it was disappearing until it had long gone. And I was like, you know, I remember when videos were usually in 4.3, and oh yeah, interesting. Yes. It does, most definitely. Which is why I don't like... Which is why no one refers to HD, or rather refers to 720 as HD anymore. Like, it is strictly HD, I think, but if you say HD, people assume you mean, at minimum, 1080. They don't assume at minimum 720. But, I think the main reason why the standards have shifted online is because internet has gotten faster. You know, streaming at 720 used to be very, very taxing on people's internet. There was a time when streaming at anything above 240p was just unreasonable. But as internet got faster, streaming was easier done at higher resolutions, so it progressed in that way, online at the very least. Oh yeah, I forgot that this is a farming room. I just wanted to do a quick Kazu. I shouldn't be going to disconnect only to reconnect back to another room. That's a very slow way to go about it. Alright. Swanag. Silverwind Naga Cougar, there we go. 1 to 10. Haha. What a miserable time. Motoko is doing Charm Farm with a gun lance. Fuck me. That's a good point. Let's see if we can find an actual proper charm farming room. Brachydios, where art thou? I could try to make one. Let's try to make one. No, I don't think we will. Here we go. Here we go, Taskman Farm. Here we go. Now, this is the moment of truth. Will we get a status gunner? Probably not. This is the problem. There are a lot more people going heavy bowgun than status gun. So, generally what happens is everyone's sort of sitting around, hoping for a status gunner to arrive, or hoping that someone can run status. I don't have a status set, so it's one of the few games where I don't have one. I think there's a certain degree of laziness that can be attributed to that, but... Oh, my zodiac sign is Cancer, Spaceman. Which, I suppose if anyone wants to look into what makes a Cancer, then you'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds like Doomlink to me. Probably makes a lot of sense. But, oh, 97. When I saw the light bowgun, I nearly shat. But no, sad. Oh. Oh no. Okay. Time to disconnect. I know it's sad, but it's not worth it. Well, a status gunner in the context of Brachydios charm farming is someone who walks in and is prepared to not only speed trap, but is also prepared to shoot Crag to KO, and also shoot Paralysis to paralyze them. And there's also an opening sleep status that's applied so that people can position themselves properly. I've done a few Brachydios runs on camera in this game, but it seems like I'm not having much luck. Like literally in the video where I want to demonstrate my new crouch fire pierce set, no one's doing it, sadly. Prowler quests. Ugh. As far as Lochlac coming back, I'm very mixed when it comes to my emotions with that. Lochlac is my home. I love Lochlac. That place is very, very special to me. I'm worried that if it ever returns, it's going to lose that sense of being this special, amazing thing. Which is strange. I'd love to go back, but I wonder if going back would be good for me. Like, I'm serious. When I listen to the music that is exclusive to Lochlac, the stuff that didn't return in 3 Ultimate, I actually, you know, I get tearful. It's really powerful. It's not only is the music beautiful, but it evokes feelings within me that are just unlike nothing I've ever felt for a video game. Because the amount of time I spent in Tri playing that game, living on it, it was a defining point of my life for a while. And the music was so good in Tri, it really was. And it's funny because for a period of time I wanted silence when I was playing online, so I turned off the music. There was an option to turn off the music in the menu settings, and for that, and so the last maybe 500 hours of my play, maybe even more than 500 hours of play in Try, was without the music in the hub area, in the tavern. So that music is even more nostalgic to me now, because I didn't listen to it towards the end. Like when I hear that, especially the Lochlac theme when you first come into Lochlac, like even remembering it now is giving me goosebumps. Just even recounting the sound of that song is just, you know, I break out in goosebumps because it's so powerful to me. That's the power of nostalgia, man. And it all, you know, even shit music can have nostalgia, but if it's good music, fuck, it really evokes some serious emotions in a person. Apparently Lochlac was destroyed by Jen Moran during the events of Monster Hunter 4. That's interesting. But you can also send your sailor there in Worlds, I'm not sure. I disconnected number 7 because there was no status gunner in that room. And if everyone's just going Pierce gun, it's not... I'm not going to be able to demonstrate my crouch fire gun, basically. Which was the whole reason why I wanted to be there. Ugh. Anyway. There are a whole lot more people doing charm farm rooms without the appropriate sets. It's very interesting. It must have... The fact that that quest exists must have recently caught on, and so everyone wants to do it, but no one has a decent set for it. Which is rich coming from me, who, given that I don't have a status set. Okay, let's find a room to join. I've been talking about stuff instead of actually checking. God, look at all these people doing charm farm all of a sudden. What's happened? Has it recently come to people's attention 2 years after the game came out? 3 if you include Double Cross, that there is a quest that you can use to farm charms. What the fuck? Discord. No. Sam's recruiting. Okay, what are you doing? Well, I love to try. I adored that game. I don't consider it the best 3rd generation game now because most of my enjoyment that I got out of Try was based on the community, but it was the game that I had the most fun in. It is still to this day the game that I've played the most, I think. Maybe I've played Unite a bit more by now. I'm not sure, but wow. Try was a very special time for me. And Monster Hunter will never be the same. It will never be the same again. After having experienced Try, you can only go downhill from there. That is to say, Try online. The online experience of Try was just marvellous. And I regret to say that any person who didn't experience the online of Try just hasn't experienced the best online Monster Hunter experience there ever has been. Although I hear Mind Guard was very good. I hear that was a very, very good experience. I wish I could have experienced that, but by the time... Well, Mind Guard closed in 2008, and I was not willing to... Well, it's not that I wasn't willing to, it's just I knew of Monster Hunter in 2008. I just didn't go so far as to actually play anything. So... The incredible thing, Potato, is that I was on the... I don't even know what we're doing. Let's have a look and see. The incredible thing about Try was that it wasn't just the European servers, which is what I was a part of. All the people who are on the US servers tell the same tales that I do, of an amazing community. And I think that really shows that it wasn't just in Europe, it was also in the US, just... It attracted an amazing community. It was just at the right time in the right place. And it was incredible. It was a delightful experience. I mean, I've said this before. Some of the strangest people I've met on the internet were in Try. And, oh, this set, by the way, is not complete. I'm working on... Oh, this is a good point. I've not been checking that. This is really important. I had completely forgotten that I was supposed to be doing this. Meowster Hunters, here we go. Oh, shit. Warning in the tundra. I bet I missed my rare opportunity here. I need to get Toxic Kumori and Large Kumori. I guess I should be saying Kumori. But, anyway, what are we hunting again? What was it? Fuck. I always check and then not actually internalize the information. It's very weird. Let's actually internalize it this time. It is Chaotic Gormagala. So, fire. I wouldn't describe underwater combat as being clunky at all. I think it was exactly what you would expect of a human being underwater. Of course your movements are limited. Of course it's slower. Of course it's yeah, like it was natural. I don't think they could have done it any better than what they did in Try. And I think it's for that reason that it never returned, because Capcom were like, well shit, it's a human being underwater with heavy weaponry and armor. Like, it has to be this way. Are we going to go Greatsword? Let's go Greatsword. Wrathlord's Sunsword. With super low resolution. Yeah. But I think combat underwater is one of those things that it's either there or it's not. And Capcom made the decision to not have it there because they knew that they'd done the right thing with underwater combat. They sat down and they said, how can we improve this? And they said, we can't. This is how water combat has to. This asshole is sitting in my fucking chair. It's like slowly sitting down. I don't know if my connection to the server is bad, but you can see that whenever I want to sit down, it's really a slow process, but yeah. Well, I don't know how you can describe underwater combat as being clunky then, because I don't think it was clunky at all. I think it was very, very streamlined and very well done. It's just that the very concept of it and the very idea, unfortunately, is not great because you are, of course, limited underwater in your movements, and it's not comfortable to fight monsters in that environment. So, if you use Lance, it's generally okay. Oh my god, my connection to this guy is awful. I'd love to leave, but should I cancel on this guy? I'm just seeing the way he's glitching around the place. I don't really want to two-man a Chaotic Gormagala with a guy who probably has bad connection. Hey Thrasher. Yeah, exactly. Whenever you fought underwater monsters, you were like, shit, I hope that we can fight this thing on land soon. That was the whole experience with Laggy for me and Royal Ludroth. But Cedeus was definitely a great fight also. Thrasher, that's just number 7's way of saying hello. Don't overthink it. Do we really have to fucking two-man this thing? Alright. Whatever, man. It's Hunter Rank 13 requirement for a reason. This guy has a bit of health. I'd rather not two-man, but if we have to, then I will. Whatever makes you happy. Maybe it doesn't make him happy. Maybe he's willing to wait, but... In fact, you know what? I'm going to stop readying up because he's not departing, so that... No! I'm juking him now. He's like, come on, ready up, I'm ready to go. And now he's not. Now he is. Ah, the light. It blinds me. Yeah, this is one of my most well-lit recordings in... Well, the light keeps shifting, but this is definitely one of my most well-lit recordings in a very long time. We're getting more Zelda news on the 26th. Oh, God forbid. You know, wake me up when the announcement's made. It's not going to be keeping me awake at night. Let me put it in those terms. Fucking KE has entered the hub and has now left. Of course. Patience is always rewarded. Impatience is generally not. Yeah, Sea Deus was very majestic. Just this incredible majestic fight. Really loved it. It was very cool. Especially coming from Freedom Unite. I mean, for those who played Tri for the first time, I'm sure, well, as their first Monster Hunter game, I'm sure they still enjoyed Sea Deus. But for me, it was just so epic, so incredible. You had some interesting fights in Freedom Unite, but for me, Sea Deus was just a different thing entirely. For me, Sea Deus was the monster that really marked Tri as being the new Monster Hunter game. It was different. It was the new. It was the way forward. It was a new generation. And sadly, he was only in one other game after that. This is a huge fucking chaotic. Look at the size of him. He's huge. Fucking hell, this is going to be rough. If you know anything about super large versions of monsters, it's much harder to fight them because all of their attacks just reach you all that easier. Just that more easily? No, I need to work out how I'm speaking English. Come back to me later. Call me in the morning. Perhaps then I will have an answer for you in correct English. Oh my goodness. I do like Chaotic Gore though. He's a halfway point between Shaguru and Gore Magala. Oh no. I feel like he has bad connection. I have bad connection to this guy. I'm telling you, if this turns out to be a laggy hunt, oof. Yeah, if this turns out to be a laggy hunt, I'm probably just going to leave. Because he's got bad connection for sure. This is not looking good. I'll keep an eye on what's going on. Yeah, this isn't happening. No, stop it. Close the software, damn it. There we go. And reopen. It's like magic, isn't it? You guys are saying that's what she said, but unfortunately, because there's a delay, I can't remember what I said that was suggestive. Oh well. I'm pretty sure I was talking about Sea Deus. Did I say it was so big? I don't think I even referred to its size anyway. Let's go and, well, I'm going to try one more time for a decent Brachydios room. If it doesn't exist, then that's alright. Brachydios. How long have we been recording for? An hour and 58? Not too bad. Probably go for 2.5 to 3. Something like that. Brachydios. No. Well, excuse me. No, don't create a room, fuck. Search for something random. Oh. Oh. I called Gore Magala big and rough. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. It's so big, this is rough. Yeah, well. It was rough and it was huge. Gigantic. Gunner team versus Snow Baron. Why? I thought people only Pierce gunned in this game. When they did pull out a bow gun, and Snow Baron's not good for Pierce, so what's going on with this team? Turns newbie bike. What? What kind of name is that? I'm sorry you've gone to 800 hunter ranks with this name. Do you remember a time when everyone had one of two words in their name? Sephiroth and soccer. Do you remember that? I remember that. I don't miss those days. What possessed people to put soccer in their names? I to this day will never understand, like, why? Soccer Kid 897. AMD started selling mountain bikes. What? I hope that's a joke. Mountain bikes. Talk about branching out. Bernardo Boy. Elderfrost EX. No. Hyper Rathalos. Hyper with an I. Okay. Recruiting. Alright, I'll hunt with these guys. Alex as well. Alex! Fuck! The number of people named Alex online. Fuck me! Yes! Alex. You know how many people I hunted in Try with who were named Alex? It was so fucking confusing. I had no idea what was going on. Like, I literally thought, I think there must have been something like, there must have been 4 different people that I knew named Alex, and I didn't know who was who. Why am I getting kicked? What's going on in this room? Make it private if you want specific people in there, you weirdos. Strange people. You name it recruiting. You put no password on it. You don't make it private in any way. And then you... I don't know, I don't get it. Death metal. I bet I listen to better death metal than he does. Anyway. Crimson Fatalis. Khonshu Man. Oof, 101. No. Star 3. No. Silver... Old Fatalis Farm. No. Bloodbath EX. No. Soulseer? What's the question for? Oh, it's still Ikum Bokum. Talisman Bracken. What's happened, guys? Why is everyone suddenly doing this quest? Did someone make a Reddit post? I'm confused. It's like everyone suddenly turned around and realized so late in the game that there's actually a fucking quest to farm charms. It's very odd. I've never seen this before, where so many people are doing this quest and none of them have appropriate sets for it. It's really odd. Anyway. It's very confusing to me. Wrath family. What? Tiny crown. For what? Just anything? Whatever. Let's see what they're hunting. Where's my... Oh. Here it is. Usama and Raven. I can see your legs from here. That's a really ugly looking set. Imagine transmogging that one. Why? Looks like that fucking, that girl in Railgun and also the Accelerator spin-off show. The one with the face mask, the pink-haired lolly. Not everyone's gonna get that reference, but that's alright. Huh. So you were an Alex, number 7. Fuck. Fucking Alex. There's so many people named Alex. Just drives me nuts. Like, Not so much on the internet, but in Try, yeah. Like, there were just so many people named Alex in Try. It was incredible. I couldn't get over it. The number of people named Alex. And I don't even know if that was your intention to... Maybe you were just saying it because that's your name, but... So many people called Alex, and it was very confusing. It really was. I didn't know what the hell was going on anymore. I'd be like, are you the Alex from then? And then he's like, no. And then sometimes Alex's would be like, hey, it's you from then. And I'm like, oh, that's you. So confusing. Hey, A-Game. My stomach's rumbling. That's never a good sign. J Summer, for the love of my arse. Oh, Summer. I couldn't really see the rest of the... It looked like a J, sorry. Anyway, can you do something now? I'm kind of like... Whatever. I don't know if I'm being kicked or what. Nice name. This is definitely unique. Let's do a Cyanatol, why not? Oh, sorry for all the creaking. I got a cheap ergonomic chair. It was like 600 Australian dollars, which is not very much for an ergonomic chair, and of course it's very noisy. So, oh. It is a Hyper Cyanatol, which is a bit of a scary hunt, but let's do it. We'll go lands, why not? Hey Jenny. I can see people coming in 2 hours in. You guys must have just gotten the notification. Thank you, YouTube, for your timely notifications as usual. So, nah, Thunderlands, here we go. Yo, what's good gaming? Yo, what's good Jenny? What's good indeed? Alright. Attack large. No, I really shouldn't eat for defense. I really should. Because Hyper Cyanatol is not a fun experience at all. Let's go. Oh, you were still in bed. Fair enough. Jenny getting out of bed at almost midday. Bloody hell. Alright. Oh. I see. Well, if you actually never did receive the notification, Thrasher, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's not outside of the uselessness of YouTube. It's definitely believable. Oh shit. Okay, he's not slamming me down immediately. He's not a Hermitor. Fortunately. Well, no. I would say that this guy's a lot harder to deal with as compared to a Hermitor, for example. Well, he's enraged now. I'm upset. That's exactly how he sounds, by the way. Ooh, that was a big rumble of my stomach. Alright, I'll feed you soon. Let me finish my live stream first. Damn stomach. The stomach will have to wait for another... probably another 40 minutes or so. Oh shit. Well, I'm glad that I have a dedicated audience. Thank you guys. I realize that YouTube is not good with notifications, yet you guys very often find yourselves in my streams anyway, and I do thank you for that. I do thank you for that. It's means the world to me. If you know me at all, I can talk underwater to myself and no one else, but it's always nice to speak to an audience. I do appreciate that. And there are also those of you who don't talk. There are certainly the lurkers among you, and that's okay too. I don't mind that, but I always like to have a conversation with people. It's always my preference at the very least. It's one of the reasons why I stream these days. It's because you have to understand, I went like 8 to 9 years of making videos without talking to anyone at all. Not just during the recording, but even after the recording, because no one watched my shit. So, it was a very lonely journey for a long fucking time. And here I am, finally recording 2 people. And talking to people. Oh, please, you long-sword bastard. This is... Can't deal any damage here. Yeah, for the longest time, just didn't really communicate with people as far as my videos were concerned. It was... yeah. I was alright with it, I just enjoyed it for myself, but... It changes you in a way. You become very... It's very much based on self-gratification, what you do. Because you have to gratify yourself, because there's no one to gratify. There's no audience, so... Yeah, I've always done things my way, for that reason. And I'm glad you guys enjoy what I do. Oh shit. Here's another attempt at hitting the head. I'm not going to break the claws for the reason that I don't actually need anything from this guy. I need to find a good opportunity to do corkscrew jab. It's another one of those hunter arts that I really need to save for a good moment. Uh-oh. Counter. Okay, he went over me, fortunately. That works too. We live in a world now where boredom can be, I suppose, solved through many means. It is an entertainment age. That's why entertainment online has become so incredibly cutthroat. We're actually doing quite well against this guy. Here we go. Corkscrew jab. I think it's time to sharpen. I don't think my lance here actually has purple sharpness, does it? Let me check. No, it doesn't. You can see I have a lot of white and not much blue, so it is time to sharpen indeed. Yeah, I've been physically doing YouTube for 11 years now. And I was part of the Let's Playing community from basically the earlier days of the Something Awful forums. And, yeah, I do miss those days, but things change. People don't even use the term Let's Play anymore, it makes me sad. I will always use it, because it describes what I do. At least when I am Let's Playing. I'm not Let's Playing now, but... yeah, it describes my videos, so I will always refer to it in that way. I have to say, I've been occasionally using walkthroughs for my Zelda games that I play. And usually it ends up being, I'll get out a video from Zelda Master. He's a more recent YouTuber as compared to what I used to watch. And I've always watched these videos on mute because I'm usually, you know, listening to a documentary or something like that, or listening to music while I play. And today, I thought that I would actually listen to his commentary for once. And I nearly fell off my fucking chair. It was like... hey guys! I'm like, oh Jesus. I nearly fell off my fucking chair. It was unbelievable. I nearly just... I was like... hold on. I need a moment. That's why I moved my mic further away, and I'm sure that still wasn't enough, but that's what it was like. It was just... incredible. I nearly fell off my chair. It's been a while since I've opened a video with a commentary, and I've been so auditorily offended by a commentary. It was just so like, oh, I can't handle this. Who is this for? Not me, obviously. But, yeah, that was rough. The point is, sorry, Potato, but yeah, I'm sure I've ruined everyone's eardrums, but I tried to move my mic away, but obviously that wasn't good enough. But basically, that's what it's like, and my overall point was that he's a person who has their playlists written as Let's Play, but his videos actually don't have Let's Play written there. He's just another person who's dropped Let's Play from their content, which is kind of a shame for me. That was my overall point. It wasn't the fact that he molested my sensitive ears, it was that. But I just thought that I would mention that because yesterday I was a bit shocked. I was like, well, I always feel bad when I watch people who have commentaries on mute. It doesn't happen often anyway. But suddenly I don't feel quite so bad. Everyone has their own commentary styles, I suppose, and for me, screaming at an audience is not a commentary style. It's a... yeah, no. Oh, I didn't know Rad Brad was still going. There you go. Yeah, there are some people who have faded away into obscurity again. There are some people who are always obscure. For me, I think... one example of like a big Let's Player back in the day who is now pretty much, he's been left behind by the times would be Nintendo Capri Sun, and I've never really, I was never much of a person who watched Nintendo Capri Sun. He didn't really do it for me back then. I was more of a Griffin Lobster, Exits Tyler, Dark Minded Sith, Dr. 1297, Goron 50, Vampire Boy 25 kind of guy. There are other names as well. Sasha Silvermoon. But overall, no. Ooh, no place to run. We just did that. Let's move on. What kind of documentaries do I watch? Usually crime documentaries, Potato. That's my preference. All sorts of crime documentaries. I got to the point many years ago when I just had seen every single serial killer crime documentary ever, and I just realized, yeah, it's time to move on to other stuff, and so just general crime eventually became my interest, and yeah, that's usually what I listen to. These names sound stupid. That was the internet back then. That's very interesting that you say that, Michael, because I do intend to do Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning in my livestream playthrough series at some point. I've been meaning to do it for a while. I don't know when it will eventually happen, but the plan is to do that. It's not a very good game at all. It's very average. I plan to tell this story when I'm actually doing the livestream playthrough, but the story goes as follows. My friend, who I actually got into the Souls series back in 2012, and he was a person who played a lot of video games, and I was very proud of the fact that he said to me, Demon's Souls might be my favourite game ever, back in 2012. I was so happy when he told me that, because, you know, it means a lot coming from a person who just plays every fucking video game that releases. And, one day, he had this game in his hands. It was for PS3. And he said, this game is so fucking bad, I don't even want to sell it. You can have it. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And he gives it to me, and I look at it, and it says, Big Huge Games for the studio. And as soon as I read Big Huge Games, I was like, yeah, this looks pretty bad. And I did a Let's Play of it back then, and I sort of ripped it a new one. I was very unfair to it, but it's not terrible. I think I would enjoy it more on PC. I plan to play it on PC eventually. But, yeah, that would have been back in early 2013 or something, when I actually got the game. But, yeah. Don't be too excited, Michael, because if you enjoy the game, then I might ruin your dreams. But subscribe and maybe you'll see it eventually. I don't know. Maybe this year, maybe not. Probably not, actually. Maybe next year. Prowler quest. I'm becoming very distracted. Tout. You tout yourself as one ready to hunt anything? Because the objective is ending. Alright, Christy, what's going on? Oh, I do still have it, number 7. I have the game on PS3. I'll dig it out. No, I won't dig it out. I've got it underneath a bunch of controllers. Okay, let's grab it. Uno momento. You'll have to forgive me because it's going to be backwards, because my camera is flipped, but here it is on PS3. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, backwards because it's flipped, but yeah. This is the physical copy that I received from my friend for free, because he didn't want to look at it anymore. In fact, see where it says Big Huge Games? Yeah. Big Huge Games. I'm sorry, but any person who decides that they want to name their studio Big Huge Games, I don't know, man. What is there to say? Capture Rust Razor G1. I'm sorry, but no. I did give Dragon's Dogma a shot. I didn't know there was a remaster for Kingdoms of Amalur, what the fuck? So Potato, that's very interesting because someone bought the IP for Kingdoms of Amalur, was it last year or earlier this year? Someone bought the Kingdoms of Amalur IP and there were rumours going around there would be a remaster. Are you saying that in this time it has actually been officially announced? No, I don't have the LP up, number 7. It was on an old channel of mine. I would play the original game because I want to experience the original game on the PC. And then maybe I'll play the remaster even further on in the future. Freddy, Hellblade G3, no. Turn. Here we go. Oh, fuck. Stop it, no. I always do this accidentally. But I did try Dragon's Dogma, but it didn't really do it for me. Had I given it more of a chance, I would have been able to enjoy it, I'm sure, but I didn't give it enough of a chance, so it didn't end up happening. Kikan means danger, yeah. Quiet. Turns, ooh. Oh. I'm not joining his room purely on the basis of him saying ooh. What is so many people are doing Charm Farm. You're going to do a hunt rank minimum of 200 and you're going to use the longsword. You've got some balls. I'm not going to let's play it again. I'll just do it in the live hunts. No, not live hunts. In the live stream playthrough series, I will do Kingdoms of Amalur. Yeah. No, I do not know about the project that's going to bring back the original Xbox Live service. That's pretty crazy. I never experienced original Xbox. I don't think I had a single friend who had original Xbox. I only had friends that had PlayStation 1 and 2. But, yeah, original Xbox. Actually, I feel like one friend did have the original Xbox because I have memories of holding and using that colossal fucking controller for the original Xbox. The really big one. I do have memories of that, so someone must have had an original Xbox, but yeah. Weird. EX White Fatalis, hey. Let's do this. We will go, ladies and gentlemen. We will witness Doomlink using a style other than Guild today. It will be Adept. Because I want to do Adept Light Bowgun against this monster. It's called the Duke controller. Really? I didn't know that the original Xbox ran at 1080p. That's nuts. Fucking hell. They were going hardcore when they were saying, hey, it's just a box that runs DirectX. They went all the way and fucking ran at 1080p resolution. That's a bit crazy, isn't it? Took a while for Sony to catch up, indeed. Meanwhile, all the PC gamers going, 1080p in 2001, oh, la-dee-da. I was playing 1080p in 1993? Probably not. But, you know, maybe more like 1997. But anyway, what are we using? That's right. We will use Light Pierce and we will change to Adapt. Really? 720, 60 FPS. Could televisions even... How many televisions in 2001 could do 60 FPS? What? What the fuck? Sounds like the original Xbox is some kind of hidden gem that I always knew about but didn't actually understand or something. Oh, I should have had Moxie. Oh well. Weakener will do, says Doomlink. Let's bring combination materials for something. Probably PS3. Bone Husk and Pin Tuner. Alright. And I'm going to... This is going to sound really pedantic. And look really pedantic. I'm going to buy that one last fucking PS ammunition for level 3. I'm going to buy all of this. Actually, shit. I'm going to need combo books. This is going to be a really special hunt for you guys. Not only are you going to see me use styles, you're going to see me use item sets. What the fuck is going on, Doomlink? Well, it just so happens that I'm finally using it for what it's meant to be used for. Actual annoying stuff, like swapping out combo books and things of that nature. Okay, here we go. I think we're ready now. Let's go. I'm going to be honest, I had no idea that CRTs ran at 1080. I really didn't know. I thought it would be 720 as a maximum. I bet HD CRTs are pretty expensive these days. I wouldn't doubt it, because of all the retro gamers that have now entered the market going, CRTs are the only way to play old games, and so now they're probably very expensive. Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Thrasher. I'd love to see that. We will start with slicing. Why not? Byleth, can we please not do this? What is your problem? Oh, fuck me. Just get over here, you dick face. There is no reason not to open with a Dragonator. Like, there is no reason not to. It's free damage. And then we can begin the hunt. And White Fatalis gets here very quickly if we all stand by the fucking Dragonator. So just cooperate, and we can have this done. How fucking hard is it by? Let's just get up here! Fuck me. Should I just use it? I didn't want to fuck up the timing, you know. Alright, I'll just settle for one instead of both. Fucking annoying. Because otherwise we'll be here forever. Oh, I've got temper. That's not good. I mean, it could be good, but... it's hard for head accuracy, that's the only issue. I've got the tail coming. Actually, the tail's good because I can use Adept on that. Watch, guys. Doomlink's using Adept! Anyway. Moving on. Good thing I have Adept. Whoa! Not afraid of you, Fatalis. Oh, I'm missing a bit though. Thanks, Temper. That's right, Thrasher. I don't like the collectors ridiculously bumping up prices for things. There was a time when getting a CRT was like, why would you get a CRT? Get a flat screen plasma television. And then suddenly CRTs were the best thing since sliced bread for all the retro gamers. It wasn't a sudden thing, it's just that, I mean, in terms of the market, proper retro gamers always knew that CRT was the only way. What happened? Oh. Byleth died. Thanks, Byleth. Try harder if you wouldn't mind. Maybe he's trying pretty hard, but he still died. Under those circumstances, I wouldn't blame him too much. This is EX White Fatalis. This is one of the strongest monsters in the game. EX in the sense that he's, you know, stronger. And, he's already pretty strong without having an EX version. But here we are. He gives the GX White Fatalis armor set, which is an armor set that I actually kind of like, but I don't think I'll ever end up using. I probably could have gotten a binder. Nothing wrong with a bit of a binder, you know. It's always funny when people talk about the power of a console. Uh-oh, this is giving me For Ultimate vibes. This is what you looked at the entire time you fought Fatalis monsters in For Ultimate mounting. It was a sad time. But yeah, oh shit, let's try to get in position for Pierce. Fuck, I was in position before. Have to aim down the body here for good piercing, unfortunately. I'd love to be hitting the head, but it's not going to do any damage with Pierce, unfortunately. But yeah, consoles, it's... I don't care for the console space anymore. It's like, oh, this console's more powerful than this console. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with my PC like... yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's what it's like. I know it sounds super, like, snarky, but I don't care. Oh, shit. This binder, the previous mount, all terrible for me when it comes to piercing through the head. Which is what I really want to do, but... Uh-oh. Let's do our combinations. Some people would not be doing their combinations at a time like this, but I am, because I'm just that kind of guy. Keep away from me, Baxter. Byleth is for some reason doing pole vaulting to get away from the fucking lightning. I haven't seen that before. That's pretty cool. That's one way to not be concerned about it, for sure. Alright, catch you later, potato. Ow. This bullet geyser out of here. Oh, that was my attempt at bullet geysering, but it didn't work. Hey, I do a lot of retro console gaming myself. Especially these days, because unfortunately, when I was younger, and sort of adventuring in the world of the PC, the digital age, I was finding emulators, and emulators were really cool, and I was thinking, why would I ever play on the original console when I can just emulate the games for free at better resolution. Unfortunately, because I made the decision to do that, I didn't actually spend money when everything was cheap on getting good consoles and getting the games. So I just emulated everything back then, in the early days, and I regret that deeply. Here I am in the year of 2020, buying all this shit that I should have bought back then, at an incredible markup, because of the classic game collectors. It's annoying. But I made that decision. And I'll live with it, I'm fine with that. Now to run out of Pierce level 3. I think this will actually be my last hunt. I'm pretty fucking hungry, I think it's time to go. This hunt will go for quite a while, even though I am quite well equipped for it. But yeah, I'll show you my skills in case you haven't seen them. Challenger +2, Pierce up, True Shot up, Critical Boost, and what was that, Evasion +1? I think so. I'm finally in position to pierce through the head, it's about fucking time. Ooh. Uh-oh. There we go. Haven't broken the wings yet. What I really love, I absolutely love what they did with the fire breathing of Fatalis. It's got this look about it, it's very intimidating, at least to me. Aha, got another mount. Let's try to get in position for... Why isn't he attacking? What did he do? He wasn't attacking. Maybe he... Did his controller disconnect? His controller must have... Ah, his controller disconnected. Check that out. Yep, poor guy. I know the feeling. I'm using a wireless PS4 controller right now. I have to deal with that. Good luck, Byleth. Seriously, good luck, man. Don't die. I believe in you. You can connect it. Come on. You can just see him slowly walking away. Shit. This isn't good at all. No, he's gonna get hit? Okay. Good. I've been there, I really have. Oh no, Baxter. Oh no, this is so bad. Baxter is the one who doesn't have a fucking disconnected controller, and he's the one who's dying. This fucking idiot. Look at this. Look at this, guys. We were doing so well. And yet Baxter's fucking dying. Idiot. For fuck's sake. Whatever. I don't like to end videos on failed quests. I never enjoy that, but unfortunately today's one of those days because... And Baxter left in shame. Indeed. Indeed. The guy whose controller is disconnected is the one who needs to die, not the guy who doesn't have a disconnected controller. Maybe the one who has full function of their controller should be not dying. Anyway, there you go. It is indeed part whatever the hell it is, part 34. I thank you all for watching. It is time that I ate. I'm very hungry. It is 1:13 in the afternoon. I have yet to eat today. But yeah, I'll probably record tomorrow, maybe. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. I do need to record tomorrow, I think, because I haven't really been recording too much this week. I think yeah, I didn't record for the first 2 days of the week, which is a bit unlike me these days. But yeah. Well, thanks for joining me, Gessager. It's good to see you. or nice to meet you at the very least. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.